Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're talking about the Book of Boba Fett Episode 1. And like always, I'm not going to do my original recap and review for like these Marvel or Star Wars show because there's so many people that do recaps and breakdowns of these episodes. You guys have already seen it. I don't need to break down every single scene in this show. And so for the first episode, I'm just going to walk you guys through the things I like, some of the things I disliked about the episode, give you guys my rating for it, and then we can talk about what's going to happen moving forward or any theories. And I always enjoy talking to you guys in the comments about all this stuff. So before we go into it, please make sure to like this video if you guys have been enjoying it. Please make sure to subscribe if you're new. But let's talk the Book of Boba Fett Episode 1. So I'm a pretty big Star Wars fan, like I'm sure how some of you are as well, or most of you, or all of us. We're all Star Wars fans, right, that are watching this. I love reading the books. I love the movies. I try to, love everything about it. And for these live action shows, I've been loving it. Mando Season 1, Season 2, I even enjoyed The Bad Batch. And my expectations for Book of Boba Fett was never too high. I never thought it was going to be better than Mando Season 2 or Mando Season 1, even though it easily could have, or still can, obviously. But my expectations were never high coming into this show. Just so you guys know what my mindset is coming into this first episode. So the first episode begins, and one of the main things I love is those flashbacks that we finally get to see, right? We actually get to see Boba coming out of the Sarlacc pit, something that fans have been looking forward to for so many years now. And it did not disappoint. That Sarlacc pit scene was amazing, so good. Like just the lighting and the way it looked for see him in that pit and to see the stormtrooper use like oxygen. I don't know what that was, that tube he put into his mouth. It looked like oxygen, and use a flamethrower to actually crawl out of the pit. Such a sick scene. What a way to open it up. And then even those other flashback scenes we got to sit once he went into the I think it's called the BAFTA tank, right? He's got the flashback where we see him holding the helmet and Attack of the Clones with his father, Jango Fett. Such a great scene, and to see it again just reinforced the idea that he still thinks about that moment, which I think that reinforcement of that scene can be really important because it kind of shows maybe like his hatred for the Jedi still rings true in his older self. And so maybe if we see a Jedi in this show, it could, there's a reason why he hates those Jedi, because one of them killed his father. And I think showing that scene again is really cool, really important to maybe what could be a really cool scene later on. So those are the main things I like to open up the episode. I also thought the score was really good, the music, even though it was a little bit silly here and there, but that was probably for the Tusken Raiders. They always have those silly sort of music, right? And, the Tusken Raiders seem a little bit different in this episode, right? They seem a little bit smarter, more organized. Seemed like they were part of like a different tribe with like the black outfits. And they seem super smart, even by the end when he hands Boba the water. It just seemed like not our usual Tusken Raiders. So I want to know more about that, like what kind of Raiders these were. Have they like evolved a little bit? Or is this just like a tribe that is a little bit more smarter or more organized? That was one thing I noticed. Another cool thing I liked, to see him actually rule over the crime underworld of Mos Eisley, right? Taking Jabba's spot as the head honcho of the place. And, those scenes were cool, seeing people come in. We kind of get a hint of what maybe like the whole story of the show could be, with the mayor not paying tribute to Boba. And that was sort of like the only hint at what the story could be moving forward, right? I'm talking about for the show in general, what's going to be like the main story. And it seems like the only hints we got was just that the mayor and Boba are going to feud. And I'm sure other things will play into, but I thought the first episode could have given us a little bit more into what the story is going to be moving forward. But I did like to see him walking around, showing everyone that the rules are going to change. Things are going to be different around here with Boba in charge. And I thought that was pretty cool. We then get the inclusion of these red suit guys that like ambush Boba, right? I don't know where these guys come from or who they work for, which obviously I don't think we're supposed to know yet, as Fennec Shand captures one alive, so I guess she'll question him and we'll figure out, what's happening there. One negative I have is that I think the fight choreography for that scene was a little bit weird with the shields. It seemed very lousy and just very lazy fighting mechanics, or it just seemed really weird, right? I mean, we just saw in Mando Boba take out those stormtroopers like really easily, right? Like it was such a cool fight, and I just feel like the fight choreography in here wasn't on the same par. And Boba actually goes down a little bit easier than I thought to these guys. Just a little nuance, but I just was hoping that the fights would have looked a little bit cooler than what we got. And then honestly, after this, for the rest of the episode, there wasn't too much I was invested in. We go back to the flashbacks as Boba is recovering in the BAFTA tank. He gets the flashbacks again, which I like. Like now that every time he goes in the BAFTA tank, he gets flashbacks or dreams, like he says. I think that's really cool. But there's just not enough there with those flashbacks. Like for the rest of the episode, we see him dig in the water. Again, sort of silly. He fights the monster. He kills the monster. and the Tuskens sort of take him in. I was very just not invested in what was going on there. It just seemed very uninteresting. Didn't really feel too important. So honestly, this first episode was a mixed bag for me. I do think I liked it, but I think could have been a lot better. If you remember Mando Season 2, the first episode, how great was that first episode? And then seeing the Boba reveal at the end, we got spoiled with that. Because this episode felt very, I don't know. I guess I liked it, but I was expecting a lot more. It was only 38 minutes. And honestly, the only takeaways I feel like the only thing that actually got me excited about this episode was the Sarlacc pit, him picking up Jango Fett's helmet, his father, and that's sort of it. Like, there's nothing else I can really dig my teeth into. Like, what can we theorize about that we haven't already theorized about before this episode? You know, it's the only hint at the story moving forward, you know, in the real time, not in the flashbacks, is that Mare stuff and how he didn't pay tribute to Boba, and there could be something there. But everything else just felt very lackluster. Like, there's not enough story elements here pushing itself forward for me to get excited about. So my overall rating for this episode is actually like a 3 out of 5. Pretty low. This might even be like the lowest I've ever rated a Star Wars live action show for the Mando 1 in Season 2. Like, this episode might have been the worst because I see a lot of people loving it. I see a lot of diehard fans loving it. You know, this is the return of Boba Fett. We got to see him survive the Sarlacc pit. Got some cool flashback scenes. Got to see what he's up to with the underground, how things might, you know, look. And, you know, it's a great atmosphere. It's great to have Star Wars back. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I've been missing this atmosphere. I've been missing that Star Wars feel for so long, especially having a little bit of Marvel fatigue, even though I love that franchise too. But there just wasn't enough in this episode for me to generally say that I'm enthralled with it. I'm in love with it. I can't wait for next episode. I just hope that this first episode, you know, was like a prologue, and, you know, it was just sort of like catching us up on what's been going on and giving us some cool flashbacks. But I want to get into like the thick of the story. You know, I want to see like what the story's gonna be with this show. And I just felt like we didn't really get too much of that in this first episode. But that is just my opinion on this episode. And trust me, the last thing I want is to be negative about the Book of Boba Fett. Trust me. So I'm going to give this episode like a pass. I'm hoping next episode will be better. But what did you guys think? Did you guys love it? Did you guys like it? Do you feel the same with me? Were you a little bit disappointed? Like, I was a little bit disappointed. Not going to lie. I'm a little bit disappointed with it. But let me know down below in the comments, like always. See you all in the next video. Please like this if you guys enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you're new. Have a great rest of the day. Catch you guys in the next one.